Hello and welcome. Student loan forgiveness. It's happening. We're talking about it, and we're going to tell you what we think about it too. But we're going to tell you some facts, some info that you need to know, how it might affect you and the rest of the American people. As you come in, please let us know where you're tuning in from. If you like our comment, please. If you like our content, please like, comment, share, tag anyone you know that might want to hear this, that might have student loans, might be in school, might be thinking about getting student loans, don't have student loans. Everyone can use this useful information.
Yes, absolutely. So any questions you have about student loans, what's happening? So why don't you give them some of the facts already around what's happening to student loans. We'll discuss our opinion about it. What do we think about it? Do we think it's good or bad? Is it good for your kids? What's going to happen? So especially if you have student loans now, make sure to tune in, tag anybody who you know got student loans, etc.
And let us know what you think about this. If you've heard about it, if you agree with student loan forgiveness or not, and why. So here is what was announced. Yesterday, it was announced that the Biden administration is rolling out student loan forgiveness for up to $10,000, or if you received a Pell Grant, up to $20,000. And what a Pell Grant is that's based on income. So if a student has a higher financial need, like they need more financial help, then they can qualify for a Pell Grant, which is basically like a scholarship. It's like free money given by the government. And then
it's not free.
Well,
it's just given to you by the government.
You generally don't have to pay
given
back.
to you as a grant.
So it's not like the Pell Grants are not forgiven.
Free, okay.
But if you had a Pell Grant and student loans, you can get up to $20,000 forgiven. Now, this qualifies you if you make less than $125,000 per year for an individual, or what is it? $250,000 for a couple. So if you're not sure if you received a Pell Grant, if you're not sure if you qualify, you can actually go to ed for ed.gov, ed.gov, and you can see if you received a Pell Grant. You can see if you qualify for a forgiveness. And you can also find out if you will automatically be forgiven. Some people, this will be an automatic thing if they already have your income information in the system. Like if you were already paying some of your student loans and you were on an income-based payment plan, like the payment for your student loans is based on your income, then they may already have your income information, and so they can see that you already qualify. That's like about 8 million people, 8 million Americans that will already just automatically qualify. But you can go to that website and you can find out if you qualify and if you need to apply for loan forgiveness.
So somebody asked, what about if it's under their parents? I think if you are a dependent, it goes based on your parents' income. So yeah. Look at the qualification of your parents. If they're if they're married, then it will have to be under $250,000 a year. If they are single, so it depends. Like Chelsea had a student loan that was a private student loan that you had.
Yeah, private loans do not qualify. This is only for federal loans. So like if you have a private loan, I had a private loan and I had some federal loans when I went to school, and the private loan would not qualify. You still have to pay it back because that's not through the government.
So someone said, I got emergency tuition loans and work to pay them off every semester. Yeah, there are a lot of people who got loans. So my college experience is I went to college and I finished. That's a fancy way of saying I dropped out. I don't like the word dropped out. I decided I think I'm finished with this place, okay? And then I didn't go and get a degree. I didn't get a college degree. I went to college for 2 years. And so my reasoning for that was I graduated high school at 16. I came to America. I escaped a war in Africa. I came to America so that I could be here and be able to attend college in America. So that was like my goal. Go to America and then get into college there. So I did get it. I came to America. I finished my senior year of high school. I went into college. And while in college, I realized that the things I was learning there wasn't the skills that I needed to succeed in America. I learned that. And so I decided to go into the workforce. And then my second year in college, I worked full time and I tried to go to school full time, and it was a disaster. I didn't want to take student loans. I didn't want to do any of that. So I worked full time and I went to school full time. And my grades suffer. I would go to work tired. It was a disaster. And so okay, I think that's the confirmation that I'm finished with this college thing. And then I just went full into the workforce, and I didn't go back. I didn't go back to college. So, but those of you who worked to pay off some of the student loans, we'll talk about that. I know people who are retired and still have student loans. So we'll discuss some of those things. What do we think about it? And drop in the comments. What do you guys think about it? If you've been paying on your loans, how do you feel about that? If you paid off your student loans, a lot of people are like, I just want to pay off this debt. I want to pay off the student loan. If you paid off the student loan, how do you feel now that there's no, as far as we know, there's nothing coming back to you for you paying off all your loans in a rapid manner?
Yeah, so I saw a video of a guy and he was asking, so, I worked really hard. I worked 2 jobs. I sacrificed. I didn't take any student loans for my daughter's college. I paid it off. She doesn't have any student loans. She doesn't have any debt. Do I get my money back? And they were like, no, of course not. And he's like, so I tried to do it the right way. I sacrificed. I had friends who made more money than me, and they bought brand new cars and went on vacations and got student loans. And now they don't have to pay for that. But I tried to do it the right way, and I sacrificed, and I paid for it, and now I don't get paid back. So there's a lot of varying opinions in this situation. And there are a lot of people who have a lot of student loan debt, who were sold a lie, who were told you have to go to college to get a good job. Right?
That was a scam.
That was a scam. And here's the thing is these loans, it's great to have help available and support available for those who need it. However, something happened when more and more federal loans became available from the government for school. Is it didn't just make it more available for people to get educated and get good paying jobs. The colleges and the schools then took it upon themselves to raise the prices and raise the prices and raise the prices. So they're like, oh, you could just get loans and you can just, go to school. But here's the thing is somebody gets, let's say $100,000 in student loans, and they're getting a degree for a job that pays $60,000, $70,000, $80,000. And it's going to take, they get out and then they got to go through the years of going to school. Then that loan starts earning interest. Then you're out in the workforce. You're just starting out. And maybe you can't even find a job, let alone get a job that pays what you think, or even in your degree. And then now you're starting off with all this debt. And now it's building and growing and growing and growing. And you just feel like you just can't get ahead.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's understandable that people want relief. They want to, they want some help here because there was a lot of people being taken advantage of. Mm-hmm. But then also we have to look at, okay, now what is the effect of this? It's happening, student loan forgiveness. So what does that mean? Does that mean that, like, let's say you don't pay off a credit card and the credit card company writes off that debt and they get to write it off and, maybe count it, take it off, write it off their taxes. We took a loss. But the private loan companies are not forgiving loans. Mm-hmm. That is not a loan forgiveness program. The government is doing the loan forgiveness program. So what does that mean? The government writes off this debt that they took on. Well, does the government file taxes? Does the government make profits? Does the government have money to even give away? No, that money comes from you, the taxpayer. So to be able to write off and forgive these student loans, it's not the government forgiving them. It's you, the taxpayer, forgiving them. And then guess what? The government doesn't have money to just write off. The government has trillions of dollars of debt. So that is going to be added onto the American debt. which means that is going to come out of the taxpayer's pocket, which means it's going to be probably your children and their taxes. Now, I'm not saying that this is right or wrong. What I'm saying is it's important to understand and think through what is the cause and effect, because there are people who were taken advantage of. I took student loans out when I went to community college, and I took some classes, and I paid for my classes, and I paid for my books. I had some help from my parents. I got some financial aid, and it was manageable at the junior college, community college level. Then I went to the Art Institute for a while, and I majored in interior design. Well, this is like a specialty school for 2 years. And so I took on more student debt. And I went to the school, and it was awesome and great until I realized that these same teachers were teaching the same classes in community college. And it was costing like $500 an hour at that time at that school, compared to like, I don't know, 30, 60 bucks to take a class in community college. And so there are a lot of people that got sold a lie and took on these loans thinking they were doing the right thing. So I'm not saying by taking advantage of a loan forgiveness program that you're bad or taking advantage of people. It's kind of a sucky situation all around.
Yeah.
And there's not really like a right fixing it situation, but we have to look at it. It's important to know the facts, know the information, know your options, and know how it really affects not just you, but everyone.
Yeah. So when I say it's a scam, here's what I mean by that. So I'm not saying college by itself is just a scam. I'm saying people were scammed into the idea that in order for you to succeed in America, you needed to have a college degree. So now think of this like a business. The colleges have a product that they sell, right? The product they sell is a college education. Now forget about your student loans and just think like a business. College is a business. They need money, they need profits, they have staff, they got to pay for the athletes, the ball stadium, all of that. So think about that as a business.
They got to pay for the balls.
Yeah, got to pay for the balls. So now you got a business. Those balls are cheap. Now you got a business that got everybody convinced that when you turn 18 years old, that you need to go and buy their product. And not only buy their product one time, you need to buy their product, a very expensive product, over years. And then to make this product so aspirational that people are so proud that they are the first person in their family to buy this product, to obtain this product, using money they do not have. So forget about the whole, look at it from a business perspective. Now also understand, you know how much, what's the endowment, how much money Harvard has? 30 billion. How much Yale has? They're not forgiving you all these loans.
Barely scraping by. How do they manage?
$30 billion. This is a business. You understand? These people have accumulated gifts from people who went to their schools, graduated, and left them a bunch of money. So to sold people on this idea, then imagine now you then got everybody buying into the idea that they have to go to college in order to get a good job, to make money. Every year you put out the U.S. News articles that said best schools and how everybody, if you got a college degree, you make so much more. So now you have all that going on. And then in addition to that, you then can raise your price of your product significantly because the government will back people borrowing money to go do this. The government will not necessarily back if you go and try to buy a business.
Back people with your money.
Yeah. If you go and try to get a business loan, you're 18 years old, you go and try to get a business loan, it's very difficult. If you want to start an activity that will produce revenue, it's very difficult for them to do that. Yet somehow they give you money at 18 to go take 4 years to do an activity where there's no guarantee that you'll make any money.
You can't get a car loan. You can't get a mortgage loan. You can't get a business loan. You can't get any other kind of loan with no credit history, no income, except for borrowing from your life insurance. But you still have to have money in it. Roy Garcia 78 says, "You guys have great content. Thanks for being non-biased."
Yeah.
You're welcome. Thanks for tuning
There's
in.
some comments on there. Rain, would you mind hopping on my my Instagram, or we want to scroll down and see some of the comments? People are saying that. So here's the other part of the scam. So the other part of the scam is whenever elections are happening, right? So understand, I don't care about who political. I don't get into the whole red, blue, all that. Look, I came to America to do the things I'm trying to do. Don't get too trapped or too emotional behind. I'm red. I'm team red. I'm team blue. Be team your family. Be team your community. Team your environment. Okay, not the red and blue, whatever. So whenever there is an election coming, the political machine gets into action. They're like, shit, if we're behind, we got to do some stuff. We got to do some stuff so that when we're campaigning, we can say we did some stuff. So you notice they didn't do all this stuff before. It's been like 2 years into the deal. Now there's an election coming in a few months. Like, damn, if we're gonna have a chance to win, we need to do some stuff so we can say we did some stuff. And so that's what's happening. So they don't do it because they like you. They do it because of politics. They do it for political efficiency. They could have done this if they wanted to do. They could have done this 2 years ago, but it didn't, because they're doing it now because they need to do it. Same thing with the Inflation Reduction Act, which is not actually going to reduce any inflation. It's going to actually increase taxes on small business owners. That's why they're hiring 80,000 IRS agents to come after small businesses. So you understand that they're doing these things because of a lot of political reasons. And so they feel like if they do that, they feel like if they do that, they become more popular. You might vote for them, whatever. And so understand that this is how politics and governments work in America. You are the recipient of that, but what's happening is inflation is a tax that you have to pay whether you like it or not. All of us pay the tax called inflation because the money is worth less. So now we need more of the money to pay for the same amount of goods and services. So that's one aspect of it. The second thing is it's going to result in higher taxes. If you're negative in your bank account and you keep borrowing money, what happens? You're going to have to get more money from somewhere to pay that debt. Well, where does the government get their money from? You, to tax you. So they're doing it now to make you feel good, but eventually they're going to tax you in some other way so that they receive that money.
So someone says, I wonder if these universities have lobbyists.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Also with schools increasing their prices with the availability of lending, this also happened with real estate. People used to buy houses. They used to be able to buy houses without getting a loan. Mm-hmm. Then the banks got together and they realized, hey, we can loan people money to buy a house. And they actually formulated the American dream, that owning a home, just like being the first person to go to college. And I'm a homeowner. My dream is to be a homeowner with the white picket fence, right? That was created. And as banks made money available to people to be a homeowner, guess what happened? The prices went up and up and up and up and up, skyrocketing. Ridiculous. Nobody, hardly anyone can buy a house in cash now. What is funny?
I'm just laughing at the craziness of it. I have a product I want to sell you. I'm going to make this product. I'm going to promote this product so well that you believe this product is a dream. But the only way you can get it is to go into debt to obtain it.
Do you know who came up with the phrase "say cheese"? The freaking cheese company. Have you ever thought about why do we say cheese? The cheese company came up with "say cheese" so that you're thinking of their product. It's like we're walking around like freaking robots on autopilot all the time, and there are so many things that we just accept that we don't really actually think about. So one of the things that we're passionate about is helping people to confront, to look at what is actually happening. And it starts with, being able to confront your finances, because your money affects everyone in the world. It affects you, it affects me, it affects our family, it affects our business, it affects our ability to say yes or having to say no. It affects the life that we can create. And whether we have to get loans forgiven or, whether we can pay for whatever we want. And so we want to help you increase your knowledge by knowing the facts about what's actually happening. And not that we're telling you we have all the facts, but we do know how to evaluate information. We do know how to look and verify things to see if something is the truth or not. And also the ability to be able to critically think through, does this add up or does this not make any sense?
Yeah.
Or how to verify if something is true or not and how it affects you. So somebody says, well, if you have to be able to see the big picture and government allowed the scam, so who has the problem with the I don't know what that is saying.
Yeah, government did participate in doing that because the government backed these student loans. The government backed, let me tell you something. If the government was not going to back you being able to borrow all this money, the price to go to college would not be so high. The price kept going up because you could borrow and borrow and borrow to go there. If it wasn't, they would figure out a way to keep the price at a certain amount.
But by the government righting this wrong, then they're not actually righting the wrong on their own dime because the money comes from us, the taxpayers. Mm-hmm. So it affects everyone. It's not just like, hey, we're going to fix this problem and we made a mistake and now we're going to correct it. No, it affects everyone. So it's important to understand, just like when certain political parties were like free college for everyone and everyone's like, yes, free college, but it's not actually free. That means higher taxes for everyone. And so it's great to have programs and make things available, but it's important to know how it affects you and your family.
Yeah.
That's
what Wendy's comments. You want to read that really quick?
That's what mother told me. As a woman born in the 70s, I needed an education to make it. Now I see young kids making the same amount of money now with no education. Yeah.
Things have changed.
And it became like a lot of parents did not give their kids a choice to go to college. It was like, you're going to college because you're going to make something of yourself, especially because they maybe didn't have the opportunity to go to college. And now it was made available to everyone. So they were like, you're going to take this opportunity that I didn't have because I want you to have better opportunities than me. Yeah. Everyone thought they were doing the right thing. Absolutely. Except for the government and the schools.
Absolutely.
They knew what they were doing. And so everyone else was just kind of caught in trying to do the right thing. I believe most people are wanting to do the right thing. And now it's
I came all the way from Africa just to try to go to school here. That was like, that was so aspirational. Go to college in America.
I came all the way from Africa just to come here and interrupt me. I'm just kidding.
That's what I do.
I
get paid to interrupt her.
So, all right. So now where do you go from here? Well, it's important we wanted to lay out some of the information so that you know where to go and look and see if you can take advantage of these opportunities, but also to be aware of how it may affect us now and in the future. And also, if you want to look at ways that you can be able to strengthen your financial house and be able to be educated about what actually makes up your financial house and create more opportunities so that you can have options of if you want to take student loans or if you don't want to take student loans or you want to create a business or you want to create more financial stability for your family and in your life, then...
You can do it. Sorry.
Oh, for God's sake. Here he goes again. Interrupt. Okay, so as I was saying is if you want to learn how to strengthen your financial house, we have a free resource. It's not a forgiveness program. You're not going to pay for it in your taxes. We're not writing it off. You don't have to take a loan. It's free. It is free, a free resource. And you can go to 6buildingblocks.com/intro. And it's one of our introductory courses. So if you want to get more from us and see what else that we learn, what else that we teach, then you can go check that out at 6buildingblocks.com/intro. And you can find out exactly the 6 building blocks that make up your financial house and how you can strengthen each one. And if you guys have any questions at all, you want to reach out.
I'm going to take some questions really quick. I can't see these comments, so I want you to go over here to get that. Yeah, you got to keep it rolling, sweetheart.
Well, you interrupted me.
Sometimes I might interrupt
you. How am I going to keep it rolling? I don't know what you're talking about here.
On the StreamYard thing. So,
okay, well, I'm not on here, and you are.
So
Oh, for
there's some questions you want to answer.
goodness
A couple of
sakes.
questions really quick. Somebody asked about grants. If you owe the government grant, it depends if it's a Pell Grant, because there's a lot of different types of grants. So if it's a Pell Grant, you then it allows you to get up to $20,000 forgiveness on your student loans if you received a Pell Grant.
You can go to ed.gov, ed.gov, and you can find out more information about exactly the qualifications, and you can find out also if you received a Pell Grant, if you automatically qualify, how much you qualify for, or if you need to apply.
Yeah, we'll do more information on this. This is something that people have asked us to talk more about, student loans, different things like that. And so you want to make sure to go and look at these resources that we talked about and see that you're going to try to make it simple. In the next few weeks, the Department of Education is going to put up a site to start going through the forgiveness process. For some people, it'll be automatically forgiven, so you'll see a reduced balance. If they have your income information on file, if you're doing an income-based repayment already. For others, you may have to file something to go get qualified for it, and we'll be able to show you that's been forgiven. But if you have questions on it, like we said, feel free to let us know. Send us a DM, send us a message, drop it in the comments, and then we'll be happy to get you the resources you need on that.
So Wendy says, I think the fair option would be to stop the interest and let people pay down the debt.
Yeah. I mean, how about what if they suspend the income tax for a year? Somebody had that idea. Let's suspend the income tax for
How
everybody.
about if the government takes a pay cut? How
They're
about if they
never
start
gonna do that.
producing stats and showing us the production that they're actually producing for this country? What if you have student loans on your credit report? How does that come off? So once they're forgiven, then you can send a forgiveness letter to the credit bureaus and you can have it taken off.
Yeah. And they will probably be coordinating to update the balance as it's showing. I don't know how fast the balance will be updated. I think it should happen pretty soon because it's just kind of an electronic reporting method. And then once that happens soon, you will then be able to see your reduced balance.
But sometimes stuff doesn't automatically come off your credit. Like you could have things years ago and you have to actually request to have it taken off. So it's good to get a credit report. I think you can go to like freecreditreport.com and get one free credit report per year.
Yeah.
And it will show you everything that's on there. If there's anything that's incorrect or that should be off, then you can contact them about that.
Okay.
All right. So if you guys have any questions, comments, please DM us, like, comment, and share. And if you want to go to check out our free intro course, No Loans Needed, 6